Here we go now.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your #1 source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope you guys have already liked the video. Shout out to the 119 of you that have already liked the video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hold on. Okay. All right. I have to say this. Although she wasn't perfect the entire season of Married to Medicine, I have to give it to Toya. Toya, for me, for the most part, was the MVP this season. Not meaning that, you know, she brought the most, but she was probably the most logical of everyone this season. And I really appreciated what she shared on Watch What Happens Live this week. I think she looked good, but also she dropped a lot of information and context and confirmed some of the things that Dr. Heavenly had been saying on her YouTube channel, especially about Sweet Tea being physically and verbally aggressive with them during the season. So I thought that was interesting that she confirmed that on Watch What Happens Live. But for me, for the most part, like, she was the one making the most sense. Although there were moments, especially in these last couple of episodes, I was like, well, Toya, you can't tell Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory that they can control how they, if someone attacked you physically or was attempting to attack you physically, you can't control that they won't do that again. So that's where I disagreed with her. But I think for the most part, she actually had a really good season. And I also love the fact that she actually gave us, the Met Gala should have been what we got during their anniversary party. The anniversary party did what it was supposed to do. It was I don't know if I believe that was $25,000 though. When she said $25,000 and all the things that she wanted for this event, I was like, I look, again, this is Georgia. Maybe things cost a little bit different. I'm a New Yorker, so I just feel like, is that going to be? Because I feel like a venue in New York alone is going to take up that budget. But then again, this is Georgia. But I love how they did the episode, because at the top, although they were kind of very long-winded with I don't think we really needed a recap of the entire season at the top of the episode. That felt like it was a little too long. But I appreciate the pageantry of it all, the Bridgerton of it all. I appreciate how they did that and narrated that, but it just felt a little long, a little too long for me. Right, Patricia? Patricia says it looked more expensive than 20, which is good. But when she said her budget was $25,000, I was like, I don't know if that's enough. Okay. Mia Moore says no more Bridgerton in 2021. No, Bridgerton is still a very hot show. The new season's coming out in May. Part 1 of the new season's coming out. I have to say, I was probably more into Queen Charlotte than I was into Bridgerton. I loved what Shonda Rhimes did with Queen Charlotte. Oh, that was so devastatingly good. If you did not see that, and if you never got into Bridgerton, no, watch Queen Charlotte. Okay? We'll get back to the Queen Charlotte of it all. So they start off this week's episode with just sort of this inspired Bridgerton theme, Georgian theme, and rewatching what we've seen throughout the season when it comes to everyone and their storyline. All right. Foxy says, love Bridgerton. A lot of people do. It's a huge show on Netflix. But Queen Charlotte has my heart. That was so good. I'm sorry. That was so. Why am I sorry? It was good. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. Oh, Miss Parker. Yeah, Miss Parker. And look, I was actually excited for Sweet Tea because it really felt like Housewives. Her coming with this sort of lady whistlebound whistle down paper, and it didn't land the way that I thought it could have landed, and maybe because she wasn't as shady as she should have gotten with it. But I appreciated the moment. All right. Miss Parker says that the whistle down paper from Sweet Tea was a flop. But I appreciate the effort because I didn't see that coming. I was like, oh, wait, okay, Sweet Tea. All right, Sweet Tea. Yeah, Queen Charlotte needs a season 2. I just don't know how do you. I mean, it's Shonda Rhimes. Shonda Rhimes could definitely do a season 2 to anything, but the way that it ended, it was like, and there were a lot of historical connections that they were making with that. So, Dr. Eugene, although yes, Bridgerton is an exaggeration, but it is rooted in some truth. And there has been long time speculation that Queen Charlotte was actually black, but white passing. I did a TikTok on that. Google Schmoogle Kempire's TikTok on Queen Charlotte. I did a TikTok on that years ago during the pandemic, talking about the rumors that she may have been black. So that's why when you see Queen Charlotte represented in Bridgerton as a black woman, that's because of the long rumors that Queen Charlotte was black. All right. I was going to wait to get to that, but I wonder if Toya looked it up. Because, everyone loves to play like, Toya's dumb, Toya's dumb, Toya's dumb. But she wasn't that dumb. Okay. All right. Miss Buck says, I liked the letter from Sweet Tea. I liked it. I liked the idea of it, but I felt like it didn't land the way that it could have landed. And that could also be editing. There could have been a lot more. Remember, we've seen this before. There could have been a lot more said in there, but production edited it out. I like that. I like the fact she even thought of doing something like that because I didn't think that. I was like, oh. I was like, okay. Oh, Chocolate Soul says, I was confused with T's whistle down. They then to state the witches were melting. There was no fire, love. But again, her saying that could be because there was more said and we're only get the edited down version. I'm giving grace, and I do that for everyone. Doesn't matter. We like you, we love you, we hate you. We don't hate anyone, but you get what I'm saying. So for argument's sake, for all we know, they could have edited out all the juicy parts. Apparently, the binder from season 5 with Monique on RHOP, apparently there was so much more said in that we didn't even see, but that landed even with the edited down version. But can you imagine if we got all of it? All right. And CM says she wasn't as dark in the paintings, and they talk about that in Queen Charlotte, and how she was being painted. Oh, Queen Charlotte's so good. I could rewatch it, but it's so heartbreaking. But I could rewatch it. All right, let me focus. Y'all are so mean in the chat. Calm down. All right. Let me start from the beginning. So they do this whole very Bridgerton themed beginning where they are rehashing what we've seen throughout the season. I felt like that could have been cut down a little bit and maybe show a little bit more about the whistle down papers. Okay. But maybe not. Maybe it didn't land because there's a lot of unedited versions of Sweet Tea on social media where she thinks she's landing something and it doesn't land. So I'm giving grace. We don't know. Okay. Mia Moore says T doesn't read well enough to do it out loud in public. I'm assuming you mean read and not read. Okay. All right. So Toya meets with her party planners because she's planning this Bridgerton inspired 16th anniversary party. And normally I would say, oh, a 16th anniversary. I mean, any excuse to have a party, but you could kind of say it's like her sweet 16th anniversary. But I feel like Toya did that. I feel like Toya did an actually great party. I love the theme. Not everyone got it. I have to say, okay, we'll get there. I don't want to jump ahead. But think about who were the ones that actually got the theme? Dr. Simone. So Toya meets with her party planners, and she says her budget is under $25,000. But then she starts, going off on, I want this, I want that, I want that, da, da, da. And some of the stuff she wants is not really of that era, but it doesn't matter. She just wants the look of it. Everything else can be modern, right? Okay. Um, but one of the things that she said about why she wants to do the Bridgerton theme was because, the unrequited love, the, love against all odds. And I was like, that's actually sweet, Toya. I was like, that actually that makes sense. That, it's celebration of their love, a love that, some people have said, free Dr. Eugene. We did. When we started recapping, we were like, the full circle moment here. At the beginning of us recapping Married to Medicine, we were like, free Dr. Eugene, free Dr. Eugene. So she's, despite the odds, these two, and look, being together for 16 years is no easy feat. Anyone that's been married a long time, I've not married, but I assume, I've heard, okay, that it takes a lot of work. And they've been together a very long time. 16 years, that's a long time. So she explains the different things that she wants. Then she talks about that she will definitely need security because Dr. G and Sweet Tea have not said whether or not they're coming or not. I mean, for a reality show, we know that they're going to come. But in real life, if someone has an RSVP'd and they end up showing up, that's annoying. I'm thinking about in reality. If someone has an RSVP to a situation and there's problems in your friend group, I would be annoyed that the day of you're showing up and you didn't RSVP in real life. But I get it. It's a reality show. That's something that we should keep in mind. Okay. All right. Jennifer says that Dr. Mimi nailed it. She did. And she nailed it at the reunion too. Dr. Mimi knows what she said. She said she likes a costume. I want to give Dr. Mimi and her husband Steve another shot to come back because I feel like we didn't get to see enough of them, and what we saw of them, they seem normal. Some might say too normal for reality television, but we don't need everyone turned up. I still believe after watching this in the season finale and the season of Married to Medicine, I still believe that we do need to do a cast shakeup next season. I think it's necessary. People have gotten comfortable. People are self-producing. People think that they are bigger than the show. People are playing games. And that's a lot of people. That's not, just, quad. That's not, there are a lot of people producing and trying to use an incident to hurt other people, even though they don't necessarily have that issue. I see what they're doing. And even at the end of this episode, there's like, we're a fractured group. We're a fractured group. And also when you see these scenes with Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory, it's basically them saying goodbye to the show. Because Dr. Gregory feels like the group has turned its back on him. And they have. I've told you this. Last week, it felt as if the group was saying either it's either Team Quad or Team Gregory. And they feel as if that's what they're being put in a position to do. And basically they're saying, we're going to, if you're going to make us choose Dr. Gregory, we're going to choose Quad and King. And a lot of you, when we did a poll the other day, you chose Quad and King. Yeah. So Toya says that they'll definitely need security because of the situation that's going on. But she says she doesn't know if Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory are coming because they have an RSVP. But she's like, you know who I do know is coming? The Quad and the Kings, because they have RSVP to come to the show. So literally at the end of the episode, when going back to what I was saying in regards to revamping the cast, they literally say that we are a fractured group. Well, if you're a fractured group, that means maybe it's time to shake things up. Yeah, but we'll get to that. So Dr. Gregory, speaking of Dr. Gregory and Sweet Tea, they go out for a meal, and he makes a joke about, you're my queen, and then she's like, well, you're the only king I know, throwing shade at King. That was Sweet Tea. Greg says that he's been hurt by the group lately, probably because no one's checked on him. No one seems to be having his back. You remember last week's episode, the guys were trying to convince him to drop the charges, but he was like, he basically said I wasn't going to drop the charges because he felt like he was disrespected. And I told you, is he really filing these charges because he's scared for his life or it's necessary? Well, look, I'm never going to tell him if he feels like he's been attacked and there's grounds for filing charges, fine. But I really feel like Dr. Gregory filed the charges so that Quad could not film. I felt like he was being spiteful. And I think based off of this episode, we kind of confirmed that that's what he was doing. Okay. And I'm not the one to be, because you're like, oh, don't call the police on another black person. If you are a black person committing a crime, the police will be called. Yes, we don't love to do it because we know the situation with the police and black people. But if you are actually charging for someone, because look, everyone is fighting over, well, Gregory started and they both were wrong. You could say Gregory started it, but King taking off his shirt and running after Dr. Gregory. So now you fell into the trap. They both were wrong. For those that are team whoever, of team people y'all don't know or ever will know. Okay. Miss Esquire says, I don't care what he filed. What prosecutor is going to take this case? Keith Sweat, nobody. I mean, look, what we've seen when it comes to reality television, even when there was physical contact, that situation did not go further than that. Because again, these people sign off to be a part of these reality TV shows. That situation with Candace and Monique, literally yes, they filed charges, but that ended up not going anywhere. Anyway. Okay. And also Didi says he didn't touch that man. Here's the thing. You don't need to touch someone in order to be threatened. People, please understand, for those that, I mean, this hasn't happened to me recently, but for those that decide to go on social media and make threats on social media, please understand, you could face charges. You could get in trouble for making threats. It doesn't need to be physical contact. We got to get out of that narrative. If you make threats on social media or even in real life, you could get in trouble. So let's not normalize like, oh, it was just a threat. There was no physical contact. You could still get in trouble. Let's not normalize that type of behavior. Lorenzo on TikTok says, bring back Mariah. I know every week everyone's going to say it. Every single week. It's fine. I say every single week. And look, and this week is no different. Bring back Audra. Right? Mitch says, did Kenya file charges on Portia? Didn't she? Because didn't Portia get a mugshot and look cute in the mugshot? Yeah. She did file charges. But everyone's going to say there was physical contact. Just saying. Hey, Brianna. Brianna says, this live is going to get me through my 30-minute workout. Thank you. I love that. I get that too. Because and when I'm working out, I still need to listen or watch something as I'm working out. So I appreciate you being here. And we will definitely get you through the 30 minutes because we got a lot to say. Okay. Some of y'all are a mess in here. Angel says, Team Mariah. Dina says, bring back Janice. Logan says assault is literally attempted battery. Didi says he was not afraid when he was arguing back and forth. Well, you also have to keep in mind just when people are actually having a conversation, they don't think it's necessarily going to get physical. I think if we didn't see King literally take his shirt off and run towards Dr. Gregory, I think this would be a little bit more of a gray area. But I do believe both of them played a part. Literally in this episode, we get to see Gregory finally take some sort of ownership. But in this lunch with Sweet Tea, he's saying that he feels hurt by the group. Sweet Tea says that she feels like Toya is making her choose. Well, she's saying that Toya is saying that they feel like they have to choose. But then she says that she's never going to beg anyone to be a part of the group. I felt like she was being hypocritical there because I don't feel like Toya was telling her to beg to be a part of the group. I felt like Toya was like, do you want me to fight for this friendship? because she's willing to fight for the friendship. But what she's not willing to do is, if you don't care, why should I fight for the friendship? I didn't take what Toya said to Sweet Tea as her telling her that you need to beg. All right? No, I didn't take that, but whatever. So Greg says he wants to see what the group will decide to do. I told you this is what they want to see, and I think by the time we get to this Bridgerton party, Dr. Gregory sees the writing on the wall. Is that this group is, if they have to choose, they're not going to choose you. Oh, look, oh,
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Just, Sonia says that Quad started it all. Look, I feel like they all have played a part in regards to this. Should Dr. Gregory have reacted to the way that Quad was acting when she clearly was inebriated? I also, depending on who you talk to, they'll be like, well, that would have triggered me when she said this. I felt like Quad was drunk. I wouldn't have taken her seriously. Yes, there's a lot of history between the two of them. Again, okay, I don't want to rehash what we've already recapped and talked about, because at this point, I'm tired of this entire group. All right, and the fans.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Just saying. And I use fans loosely. Okay. Deborah says, correction, drunk Quad started it all. Ooh. Okay. But here's the thing. In this conversation between Dr. Gregory and Sweet Tea, anyone else get the fact that it felt like they were just putting just like, we're done with the show? All right. T says, maybe we should do our own thing. Not their own show, meaning that they would not be a part of the group anymore. Greg says that they're the only ones putting forth any effort. That's a lie. I don't feel like any of them are putting in any effort, but he says that he feels as if Sweet Tea and he are the only ones putting in effort. What exactly is that effort that you and Sweet Tea are putting in when it comes to this group? Filing an incident report? What? Dr. Diligent says, I expected an apology from Dr. G to his wife at that lunch. Yeah, let's not forget how disgusting he was to Sweet Tea when she was trying to defend him. And then how disgusting he was back at home. But during this lunch, it felt like towards the end of this lunch that basically they were saying we're done with the show. That's the energy that I got. So then we get these little scenes with all the couples. They're all getting ready for the Bridgerton party. Dr. Jackie and Curtis. Did you guys see what Toya said on Watch What Happens Live about Curtis being handsy? We remember, I don't remember what season it was, when Toya went in front of Curtis and he pulled her down with both his hands into his lap, and then everyone tried to gaslight Toya like she was the wrong person when he was the one who pulled her into the lap. Remember that? Okay. So she talked about how he's a little handsy because in the Whistledown papers, they bring that how Curtis is touchy-feely like that. And then they show the picture of him with his arm around Heavenly. And then on Watch What Happens Live, Toya says, yeah, he's very touchy-feely. I mean, he's a nice man, but he's very touchy-feely. I was like, he's touchy-feely with everyone but his wife. Are we going to talk about, Dominican Republic? Touchy-feely with everyone but his wife. I've never seen him pull his wife into his lap. Jessica, no. Go back. I literally just watched the clip. Jessica says, didn't she sit in his lap? No. She went and she was walking past him, and then he pulled her with both his hands into the lap, and then everyone tried to blame her for it. Anyway. So it feels like he's been set free.
Set me free. I wanna be free.
Now he's free. Dr. Gregory is free. Okay. He is officially free. All right. There you go. Okay, so we see the couples getting ready. And what the hell was on Dr. Scott's head? We see them getting ready. He comes into the room while Dr. Contessa's getting dressed, and he's got like a rat's nest on the top of his head. what in the? I was like, I will say this in comparison to some of the people that just did not get it right. I was just like, it just looked weird and awkward. But at least I see where I see the effort. I'm gonna give him that. I see the effort. Although I felt like he was more dressed appropriately for a Bridgerton party than Dr. Contessa. I felt like Dr. Contessa had like she was going to a modern ball. Hers looked like a wedding dress, if anything. It didn't feel like it was giving of that era, right? So we see everyone getting ready for the Bridgerton party. Toya and Eugene are also at home getting ready. Eugene likes to check Toya. He was like, Bridgerton is fictional. It is. It's definitely exaggerated fiction, but it's based on some truth. A little bit. So Dr. Eugene said the Black Queen was not real. That's not true. I get, again, it's rumored, but there is some speculation on whether or not Queen Charlotte was black or not. All right. Again, Google Schmoogle. It's actually quite interesting when you Google it. Yeah, Dr. Scott definitely looked like Prince. His outfit. It was definitely giving more Prince than Bridgerton, but he definitely looked more Bridgerton than Dr. Contessa's outfit. Kay Avery says Contessa has been lost with the dress code all season. All right. Oh, Mama Ali has been a member for 37 months. Thank you so much. Wait, that's the song Kempire? The song I helped get on the. Oh, so you helped? You know what? I'm taking away your moderation privileges. I take back my vote. Get it off the soundboard. Yuck. See? This is what y'all collected. How many? Oh, $500 plus last week for me to add to the soundboard.
Get on with my life now. I wanna get on with my life now. I got a brand new wife now.
Annoying. Okay. Okay. All right. Ateka says they weren't matching. Do they ever? And they're a good looking couple. It's just like, oh, what's going on? So Toya and Eugene talk about that, and Toya's like, I thought it was based on a true story. Okay. And then they talk about whether or not Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory are coming to the party, and they don't know. The day of the party, they don't know. Again, this is a reality show, blah, blah, blah. But if this was real life, y'all better not show up. Security, if they show up, don't let them in. Okay. However, Toya says if they do show up, she's allotting them the 8 o'clock hour. And then King and Quad can come at the 9 o'clock hour and stay for the rest of the party. See, that's the bad part about this situation. You are literally allotting an hour for Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory to party with you guys. And then they have to leave. And then at 9 o'clock, Quad and King will come and they can enjoy everything else, basically. So you only really invited Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory for the cocktail hour. And then you got to go. All right, then we have the scene with Quad and King at home as Quad is getting ready for the Bridgerton party. They talk about the incident report, I'll put that in quotes, that Dr. Gregory filed about a possible assault. King says that he feels like Dr. Gregory is the one who started the fight. I mean, again, I don't want to get into who started what. What I didn't like was the fact that King decided in that moment, we're literally trying to break up one other fight between the ladies, and now you're coming to Dr. Gregory and say, I want to talk to you about something. It felt weird and out of place and not the time. And then it escalated when everyone's already in high energy right now. All right. So he says that he feels like Dr. Gregory started it. He also says that this is the only way he feels like this was Dr. Gregory filing the incident report, the charges, the restraining order, whatever. He feels like this was his way, Dr. Gregory's only way of getting back at them. I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%. I really believe that Dr. Gregory did not feel like he had to file that because of the. I think he intentionally filed that to get back at Quad because we all know. So if we know as the audience that Quad will do anything to stay on this show, that this show is everything to her, then you know that Dr. Gregory knows that as well. Okay? So he was like, "Oh, this I have the power dynamic. King attacked me. I can use this to stop her from filming. I can stop he knew that. And King fell for it. And now the group is fractured. The group is fractured. Do you think this is a fractured group, or were they always fractured? I think they were always fractured. Doctor. Mr. Mellow Magic says, that sound is horrific and funny all at the same time. I can't even say that it's funny. When I had to make that for myself, I was like, damn, y'all. He sounds horrible. The song, you literally have your wife filming you sing about your ex. This song just says to me that you have not moved on with your life, that you felt the need to do this. First of all, you're not a singer or a songwriter. So you're not telling me you use this to get that this is what you do. You're down in the basement making songs. No, it felt like you were trying to do something for theatrics. Again, could not be my psychiatrist. I'm like, this is my psychiatrist. Again, I already told you, if I saw a doctor on reality television, I would be like, I need a new doctor. Okay. But if I saw my psychiatrist on reality television, first of all, treating his wife the way that he's treated his wife, the first and the second, and then seeing his behavior on the show, and then gaslighting his wife this season, and then you came out with this.
I'm gonna have a little baby child. A little baby child. A little baby child.
Good job, Gregory. You did a great job.
I'd be like, I'd like to cancel my further therapy sessions with Dr. Gregory Lunsford. No, I don't need a recommendation. I don't trust his recommendation.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'm just telling you the facts. I'm not saying you do with your mental health what you want to do with your mental health. But with mine, me personally, in my opinion, I would find a new doctor. And even that was even before the song. That was even before the song. That's even before that song. Just the way that the quad of it all. But if we're going to talk about this season alone, the way he spoke to Sweet Tea, the way he's handled conflict, sir, you can't tell me or give me advice. And I get it. Sometimes we're better at giving advice as opposed to taking it and living with it. But no, I would not trust him with my mental health or anything else. Or my dog. I don't even have a dog. But if I had one, not with you. Okay. That's me though. Okay. So, yeah, we get to see Quad in her wigs again. Oh, oh, you know what, Bae, I want to highlight your comment, but I can't. But I've said that before about I don't know how anyone feels the way that they feel about Dr. Gregory in that way. But I do feel like Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory are a match made in heaven or hell. Hold on. Where's the comment? Oh, damn, I lost the comment. Oh, wait. Annie says, please stop. My side is hurting from laughing every time you play it. Blame Miss Esquire. She started it. Okay. All right. And I'm not playing it after this. Y'all, I added it to the soundboard. I'm not playing it after today's live. All right. Oh, Lord. Okay. Trev, I love when you guys come in here like, I'm unsubscribing. Okay. Thanks for watching. Unsubscribed. Kempire, first of all, it's a subscribers only live chat, so you're not unsubscribed yet. So you left this comment to unsubscribe? Okay, Trev. Trev says, Kempire, you used to be so insightful. Insightful is one word. Okay. Now, every time I watch your videos, you just come off judgment. It's weird. Judgmental, you meant? Mm-hmm. It's weird. Have fun with this mess, guys. This is a review of a show. This is not CNN. Y'all need to calm down. If you just want to be here to watch when I report on other stories, then come here for that. But if you're coming to watch me recap a show and review a show, you're going to get my opinion. What do you want me to just come here and present? Okay, so this happened in episode 2. This happened in scene 1. This happened in scene 2. This happened in scene 3. This happened in scene 4. Kempire, what's your opinion? I have no opinion. If I give an opinion, people like Trev will judge me. Trev, if you've been here long enough, you know one thing is going to happen here. You're going to get my honest opinion. I don't get what you expect from a review. Maybe because you don't like my feelings of the show that you're watching. So you're judging me in my opinion. Because my opinion doesn't align with yours. Please understand, my opinion might not always align with yours. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. A lot of people that have been here a long time, sometimes they agree with me, sometimes they don't. But we still respect each other. So you can unsubscribe. That's not going to hurt my life. It's going to hurt yours. So you're going to miss out on this.
Set me free. I wanna be free. Get on with my life now. I wanna get on with my life.
Anyway. I told y'all, 2025 villain era. Let's see how long it lasts. Because normally I pay you guys dust in regards to I'm unsubscribing. You're so biased. What do you expect from a review? All right. Oh wait, Nikki, I have that soundbite. Hold on. Where is it? I have that soundbite, Nikki. Wait.
Time ring. Time ring.
Every time y'all come in here trying to do that.
Time ring.
Thank you for the reminder. I almost forgot I had that in there. Almost forgot. Shout out to everyone watching on TikTok. Hey, TikTok, keep tapping your screen. Shout out to everyone watching on Facebook as well. We appreciate you guys. I know. Eugenie says, once you start getting big, all the haters start coming. I have to say, for the most part, we have look, at the end of the day, we have a lot more love in our community than we have negative people. But every once in a while, it's all right. All right. Nash says we need a name for Kempire's villain side. All right, let's move on. We have no time for that. Let's talk about this party, okay? This Goergiaton party. I think the party looked fantastic. I didn't expect for us to go into another room, but I should have, because literally that's what Toya said in her meeting with the party planners. So we already see her preparing and getting this together. So so we first see them in sort of like this, I guess it's supposed to be like the cocktail hour that they have. So Toya says that some of the people look like they are dressed for a quinceañera. And at first I thought that she was just talking about Dr. Simone, but then I kind of looked at Dr. Contessa's outfit and I was like, it's kind of giving that too, but more so Dr. Simone's look was definitely giving quinceañera. Like, how do you mess that up? And y'all sit here and talk a lot and make all kinds of jokes about Toya being dumb. Thank you, Miss Brooklyn, for gifting memberships. We appreciate that. So generous. Thank you. And be sure to thank her if you've been gifted a membership. It was Miss Brooklyn Diamond. They always like to make it seem like Toya is dumb. And then you're given a theme and you're supposed to be so well educated and you can't even get that right. And literally their theme for the reunion was Bridgerton. And at the end of the episode, we see the preview of the reunion. I told you, a lot of times our judgments of the looks based off a picture will either confirm or not confirm if we like the dress or not. And Dr. Simone, I originally liked your dress based off the picture. More so it was the hair and makeup. But seeing it in real life, it was giving cheap. It definitely wasn't giving Bridgerton. I don't know what it was giving. Okay? I don't know what it was giving at all. All right. Excuse me. Moving on from there. So Toya's just, I mean, when we look at everyone's look, I did love, she had the horse and carriage bring everyone into the party. You see all the greenery and the foliage, and it looked like a beautiful party. Especially when we look at the Met Gala at the top of the season. You're talking about a gala and it's not giving gala. All right. It didn't even look like they had food there. And I also don't believe that Toya charged her guests to be there. So there was a lot of like this is all out of pocket. She did a good job. Toya did a good job with the party. The food looked good. Everything around the food, everyone, dressing. I have to say the guests really understood the assignment when it comes to the costume. We see Anila again. Do you guys think Anila was being considered for this season? Because we see her a lot, but we don't hear her. And some might say that's how we prefer it. However, I think they should bring Anila back next season because she is a doc. She literally, and for those that say, well, I don't like how she left. No, we have to remember Toya and Anila, whatever issues that they have become real friends. This is why we're seeing her. I think if Toya can forgive her for saying and alluding that she might have, stolen stuff, been a part of the burglary, we should be able to forgive because that was about her. So if Toya can look past that, don't forget Quad was also a part of that. So if they can look past that, let's bring her back. Because I always told you I like Dr. Karen. And she understood the assignment. Look at Anila's outfit. She understood the assignment. So Anila is still a part of this group, just not, let's say, but I think they were testing, I think they were considering it because we see her there. We see her literally on camera. But all right. All right. Okay, so then Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory arrive. I will give it to Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory. At least they understood the assignment. Their outfits were, for me, were in line with the theme. Okay, so they arrive and everyone's talking to them and greeting with them. Sweet Tea's newsletter. So someone comes in and they announce. So Sweet Tea went all out for this. She had someone come in and announce a whistle down newsletter. And then they read the newsletter, and some of the things in the newsletter included just shade towards some of the other women. And one of the things they talk about was Curtis being touchy-feely. Okay? And then they show the picture of his hand on Dr. Heavenly's thigh. Creep. But then they asked Sweet Tea if she wrote it, and she basically said yes. Again, we don't know if it was edited down, if there were more shady things. It did feel like it didn't land, but that could also be edit, where it makes it seem like it didn't land. I do appreciate the effort, though, because I did not see that coming at all. I was like, okay, I see. All right, Sweet Tea, you're coming to play during the season finale. But then it didn't land. And I wonder, I know she did her own live talking about the episode, so I don't know if she confirmed that or not, that there was more said. Maybe there wasn't. Okay. Oh, damn. Elitism. Miss Esquire says, elitism without being elite. How dreadful. Let me say thank you. We had quite a few super chats. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. We appreciate the support. Seniors11, thank you for being a member and for the super chat. Senior says, I like Dr. Mimi, but I feel like Married to Medicine has enough doctors on the show. The show desperately needs more housewives. Oh, so you want like an Anila come back on the show. I see what you're saying. Also, I think Dr. Mimi is concerned about how this might affect her job. Rightfully so. This is probably part of the problem for their casting. Toya, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate the support. Guys, you can also support just by liking today's video, our recap of Married to Medicine. Shara, thank you so much for being a member and a super chat. Shara says, Quad was disrespectful to Dr. G and T. Still do not like watching Dr. Gregory and T. I know, it's like such a conundrum where people are so unlikable. Nelly, thank you so much for the super chat. Nelly says, I think it's funny how Toya is saying how Sweet Tea is coming off violent and aggressive, but wasn't Toya getting into a physical fight with Mariah and Audra? Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. There's definitely a lot of hypocrisy in all of that. Tracy, thank you so much for the super chat and membership. Tracy says, being drunk is not an excuse. Quad cannot be excused just because she was drunk. I didn't say excused her, but I'm just saying we all could tell that she was drunk, so I wouldn't have taken her seriously. Me personally, I wouldn't have responded to this person that's drunk and inebriated. Scarlett, thank you so much for the super chat. Scarlett says, if Curtis is that on TV, imagine how he's in DR. Right? Mm-mm-mm. Mr. Melon Magic, thank you for being a member and for the super chat. Ms. Mellon says the Watch What Happens Live clip will be a flashback next season. Sad. Yeah. I mean, I did think that in regards to what Toya said about about Curtis, I was like, are they going to try and make this a storyline for Dr. Jackie next season? Miss Esquire, thank you so much for the super chat. Miss Esquire says, that sound, best money I've ever spent. You know what? Y'all are our best. Hayat, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Hayat says, I always wondered if part of Jackie's body shaming tendencies came from the fact that Curtis seemed to like a more curvier woman. Oh. Oh. Mmm. What is the woman that he cheated with? The one he got head in Hilton Head. What does she look like? Do we know? Wait, was she in the picture? I can't remember. Was she curvier? Miss Treasure says, bingo. Just Toko says, I think Dr. Gregory needs to leave the show because he's still practicing his behavior, and his behavior is not a good look. I mean, at this point, Just Toko, it's too late. Look, it's too late for me. It's too late. Toya says, Kev, you dead wrong for playing that clip of Doc. Toya, were you not here last week? They paid over $500 for me to add it to the soundboard. They collectively, they raised money. And I said, y'all better raise this. Y'all better raise double this for the center come June when we're raising money for Pride. Okay. And if you don't, I'm like homophobic. Ms. Parker, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Ms. Parker says, Kempire, would you rather them Set Me Free by Dr. G or Living and Thriving by... Oh, damn. Well, to be honest, the a cappella version of Living and Thriving by Ashley when she was in Mexico with the group sounds a lot better than whatever auto-tune version she decided to release. And then that performance that she tried to do this season. The one she did in Mexico, I was like, wait a minute, Ashley. Okay. I'll take that. Mama Ali, thank you so much for being a King's Guard, a member, and for the super chat. I will offer 5 years of free work if you take off that song, no matter how big you make it, make it in the next 5 years. No, Mama Ali, no. I'm not playing it after today's live. I'll keep it in there for a little bit. Rahina, thank you so much for the super chat. Rahina says, Kempire, miss you. I'm watching while charting. It's always so busy. I'm cracking up. Bye to the haters. We love you. Thank you, Rahina. Elsie, thank you so much for the super chat. We had a lot of super chats, guys. Thank you so much for the support. Elsie says, Kempire said, I'm on what you're on. Bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop. All right. The Nina perspective. Thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Nina says, they're educated with no fashion sense. How dreadful in my Dwight's voice. By the way, my B-Day is this Thursday, Team Pisces. Happy birthday, Nina. Shout out to all the folks that are celebrating a birthday. Happy Pisces season. Miss Brooklyn Diamond, thank you so much for the super chat. Miss Brooklyn says, contestant Simone trying to gaslight everyone saying that they are not mean girls and saying that they were great friends. Might not like Faye, but she was right. Ooh. Toya says, thank you so much for another super chat. Toya says, I hate how everyone was kissing Phaedra's behind. Girl gone in my Nene voice. Oh my goodness. Look, I was actually surprised that they had ended up filming with Phaedra 3 days before this event, but maybe this was a part of her, maybe production or the network convinced Phaedra to do the scene, because I already know that Phaedra was probably already in talks, if not signed on the dotted line, when it comes to our contract with Real Housewives of Atlanta. Andy did say that he watched when Phaedra comes in later in the season. He says, oh, it's very fun and entertaining. I'm sure it is, especially if we're not talking about anything personal to Phaedra's life. But if Phaedra's not giving us her own personal story that's actually authentic, I don't want to see it. It'll be cute to end off the season, but if this is what we're going to get another season of, I don't care because it's inauthentic. But okay. Apparently, we will see. I don't know if we're going to. I'm assuming we probably will see Check as a part of her storyline because he was at the premiere party. All right, moving on. moving on. Okay, so so everyone reacts to the whistle down papers. It didn't land the way I think she thought it was going to land. I actually thought it was a good move on her part, but it just didn't land based off of the edit. Toya basically ends up kicking them out though. Before they get kicked out, they're having conversations about what's been going on in the group. Dr. Gregory has a conversation with the men, and he basically agrees to drop the charges against, or I don't think there were charges, but he agrees to drop the issue with King. So maybe it was more sort of like the incident report with the network. So he agrees to drop it, and that he would allow the group to handle the situation. You know? All right. So they had that conversation, but Toya, in her conversation with Sweet Tea, Sweet Tea says that she's fine with staying, but in Toya's head, we already know you guys might be uncomfortable with Dr. Heavenly and Quad and King and things like that. But Sweet Tea's like, I'm fine with staying, and they're like, oh no, but you gotta go. Because they're in a precarious. Look, again, I think there's things happening that they can't say on camera. Again, if he's filed charges with the police, I'm sure he's made a complaint to the network, and probably at this particular point, they cannot be in the same room at the same time. So I'm thinking that was probably more the issue. Okay. Damn, A. Rich says, because the police told him he can't, I think you mean can't press charges for someone bruising his baby ego. Y'all are a mess. Thank you, Ann, so much for the super chat. Ann says, congrats, Harvard University has announced free tuition for students from families earning less than $200,000 annually. I may know someone on the board. In honor of women's health, our future doctors are encouraged to apply. I didn't know that, Ann. Thank you for letting us know. And thank you for the super chat. Thank you for letting us know. I didn't know that. So congrats to how Harvard University has announced free tuition for students from families earning less than $200K annually. That's awesome. That's amazing. Wanda, thank you so much for the super chat. Wanda says, why does Heavenly have to be so ghetto? I think you might have thought that this was Heavenly's channel. I don't know why. I don't know. Especially when she says in that moment in regards to a man that doesn't defend his wife is a B word. The way she said it was just so like, again, like no decorum. We're at an event. I get it. You're shooting a reality show, but we're at this event. And like, even Dr. Jackie was just like, oh no, stop. Just out her mouth, like no decorum. It could not be my partner. You think my billionaire would embarrass me at an event like this? I would like, sir. That's why it's got, you got to be specific when you talk about the things you want in your person. It can't just be money. You would be like, they gotta be well traveled. They have to have a good credit score. They have to have global entry. If you were here for our Real Housewives of Atlanta talk, you know what I'm talking about. They have to have decorum when we're at an event. Yeah, because just because you have money doesn't mean that you're going to have decorum. Just because you have education doesn't mean that you're going to know how to be personable or be able to interact with other people. So you need to be very specific when you're coming up with your affirmations and your manifestations, your lists of what you want in your partner. You better be real specific. All right? Y'all are a mess in the chat. I ain't even reading some of y'all comments. So basically, Toya kicks Dr. Gregory and Sweet Tea out. And can you imagine how much time it took them to get dressed and head on over to this party, only for them to be there an hour and leave? Like, I would be annoyed because, first of all, I don't like to go out. So the fact that I got all dressed up, actually, I don't think I would be annoyed. I'd be like, I'm going home early. But that's me. I'm a homebody. But if you wanted to stay, that's annoying. Right? All that time. Only to be they basically kicked them out. Because Sweet Tea's like, I'd like to stay. I'd like to stay. Damn. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Mia Moore says, I would have sent a gift and not arrived. But I think they want the screen time. Despite them making it seem like they were done with the show and leaving the group, I do think that Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory want to be on this show, which is kind of like pitiful to me. And I get it. We recap and talk about reality television, but if you're of a certain level and success, like you're so desperate to be on television, I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, fine. I mean, I don't know that life. I'm not desperate to be on television. I'm just saying. I know some people like to say that, you just do things for clicks and likes and da da da. I was like, I'm really not that desperate, y'all. There's a lot of stuff I could do for desperation. I'm just not doing it. All right. Anyway, so after Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory leave, then the real party begins, because then we have the big introduction to go to the next room. And then they introduce all the couples, Lord this and da 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 da, Duke this. I thought this was really nice. And then I thought the second room was gorgeous. Okay. We saw Tana. You remember Tana from Love Match Atlanta? Yeah, yes. When we bring back, we're gonna bring Tana on soon, so we could do some more dating stuff. But you remember Tana she was part of the duo. Tana was there. Tana has filmed quite a few times for Married to Medicine, and they haven't really highlighted like on camera stuff. But I saw her there, so she was there. Well, she's really friends with all of them. So I saw Tana was there. There were quite a few other people there. They had like an actual event. It looked really, really beautiful. So everyone gets their introduction. What did we didn't talk about Dr. Heavenly's look. I know I mean, she looks like a more fried version of Queen Charlotte, the young Queen Charlotte. Because if you see that picture of young Queen Charlotte, gorgeous. The way they do their hair on Bridgerton and Queen Charlotte, oh, gorgeous. All the different costumes and hair. So she was being inspired, but at least it was in line with the theme. Even Toya was like, I love this. So they all arrived. I mean, her dress was just maybe too long, because what the hell was Dr. Damon Daddy wearing? He just put on a tux. But what the hell was Curtis wearing? He put on a vest. Like, really? All right. So they are all introduced. They all come in. I see that Dr. Contessa and Dr. Simone have a conversation about meeting with Phaedra. So like 3 days before this event, they met with Phaedra, and Phaedra basically says she's not interested in coming back to this group. And I know some people don't realize the context of the timeline of everything, but she says in the scene with them that she can't change her standards to accommodate Heavenly's disrespect. And no matter what we say in regards to, Heavenly told Phaedra that she was inviting Apollo, I don't think that matters. Why are we inviting Apollo? What benefit? I don't care what Heavenly says that, they're co-parenting successfully and they could be a great example for Quad and King and their Quad and Dr. Gregory and their co-parenting of what? Sweetie? I don't get it. It was pointless. She was being messy. That was the intention. She was producing. No, produce yourself. Produce whatever your actual storyline is going to be. And no one's saying that you have to throw your husband under the bus to have a storyline, but produce yourself. Stop trying to produce a moment. Okay, we already know Phaedra has no storyline. So Phaedra was done with this group. I think she just did a solid favor to production and was like, all right, I'll come back and I'll film a scene with these women. But this is where Dr. Simone and Contessa is like, we are really good friends. We are really, really good friend group. I don't know about that. I don't know if I would agree with that. But they say that, so whatever they believe, okay? Toya and Dr. Eugene's speech. Mind you, Toya didn't say much, but I'm sure she probably said something in the unedited version. But Dr. Eugene, which was a beautiful speech about how he met Toya, his plans before meeting Toya. I thought it was such a beautiful speech. I really think this was a nice event. I thought this was a good end to up and down season. Up and down season. But I felt like this was a great way to end the season. I thought his speech about Toya was beautiful. Toya is just so harsh to him, though. In the confessional, where he's like, I just want to say that you're a fantastic mom. And she's like, don't tell me that now. Tell me that's later. It just feels forced. Toya! This is why people drag Toya and people say hashtag free Dr. Eugene. Because he's trying to have a moment, no matter what. Because later on, he might forget. Okay? And now all of a sudden, you don't want to hear it. He gave a beautiful speech, and now he's giving you another compliment during the confessional. Antho says, I almost cried during it. It was beautiful. And they were flashing back to their photos. Happy anniversary to them. It was a sweet event. All right, then let's get to the mess. Let's get to the mess, okay? Before we get to the mess, let me say thank you. All right, shout out to our friends over at Butter for sponsoring today's live show. More information on how you can get something from Butter will be available in the description. You all have asked, Kempire, drop the skincare routine. Well, now I am. I am so excited about our new partnership with Butter. I've been following the company for many, many years, and I know a lot of you are probably already familiar with their products. So I've been able to try their products for the last few weeks, and I have to say, I am utterly impressed. I'm not going to go through my nightly routine or my other routines because I have a morning routine, a nightly routine, I have a weekly routine, I have a monthly routine in regards to my skincare. So there is a whole system, but you have to start somewhere. So why not start now? First of all, let me talk about my morning routine. So I gotta wash my face. You have to find the right cleanser, all right? And not all cleansers are made the same. Start with the cleanser, gives me a good lather. Once I'm doing that, another key component to your skincare, don't use the towel that you use to dry your hands or to dry your body on your face. They have these high quality, silky soft towels. You use it once and you throw it out. I love that. It's going to change your skincare routine. Once you're done with that, put on vitamin C. This is a game changer. For those that say, Kempire, your skin is glowing. Game changer, vitamin C. I will also say this, because I've tried so many different skincare products, I can tell quality versus not so quality. Quality so far from everything I've tried. There's also a very key component. And then after you've done your vitamin C, it's time to put on your moisturizer. Cocoa Shea Revitalizing Cream. I love this because I've tried some other companies and I'm not going to name them. Some are too thin or too thick or too scenty. This is perfect. And I do not say that lightly, and I'm not saying that because it's a partnership. I would tell you the truth. If you know me, you know that. Perfect consistency. When I've used this literally today, this woman that I met, she's like, oh my God, you have perfect skin. I can't tell you the amount of times that people tell me that, but but here's the final and key component, sunscreen. Very important, and I love the fact that they sent me the perfect system. Sunscreen, tinted mineral sunscreen, SPF 30. SPF 90 you don't need. I don't know why they sell it, but it is what it is. So we've partnered with Butter, and I hope that you will get you a little something. For those that have been asking, what is your skincare routine? I just gave you my morning routine. Stay tuned for the nightly routine and other things. More information on our partnership is available at butterskin.com/Kempire. All of that information will be available in the description. Thanks, Butter. And we're back. DC Proper says, how to fast forward? You can't. It's a commercial. Support Black businesses. And that's a Black business. And I'm a Black business. Someone asked about the smell. There's a very light smell to the moisturizer. I can't tell you what it smells like, but it's very light. And there's so many other products that I've tried that are just so perfumey. It's definitely not that. And someone on our RHOA recap asked about it was this one. Someone asked if the mineral sunscreen leaves a white tint. It does not. It definitely does not. So more information on that will be available in the description. We had a couple of super chats that I want to say thank you for. Eavesdropper, thank you so much for the super chat. Eavesdropper says, I'm listening while I wait for this job to set me free. Contributing today since I was working last Married to Medicine Live and couldn't contribute to the song fund. Really, eavesdropper? Thank you, though. We appreciate the support. April, thank you so much for the super chat. April says, okay, Kempire, now I got to see the super chat. This is the third time y'all done call that man's name Apollo. So now ain't got to do it. Cue Apollo. Now, how did I get into it? Set Apollo free. Apollo decided to come on the show. Apollo needed the work. Okay. Thank you so much, April, for another super chat. I don't feel bad for Apollo. This was a moment for Apollo to probably get paid by Phaedra. I'm sure she probably paid him or something in order to be on the show and help her storyline. Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. Keith says Toya is flip floppy because in her scene with Quad, she said that she will choose her over Sweet Tea, but in this episode, she's upset that Quad wants them to choose. Make it make sense, love. I think at the end of the day, they're saying what they can't say because it's more about the show than it is about a friend group. That's how they frame it for the show. That the friend group. What they're talking about is the reality TV show. Brandy, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support. Keith, thank you so much for another super chat. Keith says, "Tell me why I just checked into my hotel and the front desk agent is watching you right now." Hey, look, show me him. Hey, friend, at the front desk. Oh, I appreciate it, doll. I appreciate the support everywhere. That's hilarious. They need to get back to work. Playing. I appreciate it. All right. Okay, where was I? Oh, so let's talk about this conversation. But first, if you are a member of the channel, if you're a Royal Court member or Senior Royal, right? There are tiers to this mess, okay? I've already dropped the call link, but if you're a Team Kempire member, I'll drop the link after I'm done talking about Quad in this situation, okay? And live chat mods, let me know how many likes we should get to. Shout out to the already almost 620 likes that we've gotten so far, and yeah, we appreciate that. Okay, thank you so much. Pushing forward with T says, okay, Kempire on the Butter website, definitely ordering. Thank you. And don't forget to make sure you get your 10% off with our link. Okay, all right. What was I saying now? Okay. So Simone asked Quad, can she coexist with Dr. Gregory? And she's like, she's not interested. Honestly, the vibe that she gave was very much Taurus. I was like, okay, yeah. If I didn't think that Quad was a Taurus, it was that moment. She was like, not interested. And I think Quad basically knew what we knew, that Dr. Gregory only did all of these theatrics and filing a police report and trying to get them in trouble and trying to stop her bag. Basically, that's what it was. Trying to stop her bag. She was just like, I'm not interested. No matter how you feel about Quad, I can't blame her. But here I go twerking on the fence. Toya then gets involved and says that Quad wants them to choose between her and Sweet Tea. Quad says that she's asking the group to put themselves in her place and to do the right thing. She says that if it's not her, then she's okay with that. That's where I was like, Quad. I don't believe that. And I literally posted on social media as an honest question. I was like, Quad is saying that that she's okay if they decide to choose Sweet Tea. And I said to myself, I don't believe that. And literally, Toya says that in her confessional, but Toya makes it about the friend group, and she doesn't say the reality show. Because Quad would feel away if they decide to choose Sweet Tea over her. I don't see them choosing Sweet Tea over her, and I think she knows that as well. But the fact that she said that she would be fine with that, I was like, you would not be fine with that, Quad. You wouldn't be fine with that. Because you want to be on this show, clearly. But I think Quad, because the Quad Squad got up in everyone's behind of this cast last season, I think Quad feels empowered that this is what we're seeing during the reunion. This is what we're seeing during this episode. She feels like as if the fans have spoken and that y'all need me. And y'all going to choose me. You're not going to choose them. So I feel like Quad was definitely feeling empowered in this moment. And then she was just like, she says she's okay with whatever they decide. And she says, then lose me. But if the group really did do that, she would be upset. Because remember, these last couple of seasons where they were saying Quad's not coming back, Quad's not coming back. And then last minute, last hour, she signs her contract and she's coming back. And this is where Heavenly chimes in. She was just like, any man that would allow a man to disrespect their wife is a B word. Dr. Jack is just like, Heavenly, oh my gosh. No decorum at all. But, and I said this too, but I'm not going to beat a dead horse when it comes to the Heavenly of it all. We've talked about this over the weekend. We did a live talking about the Married to Medicine cast crashing out on social media. I feel as if Heavenly is one of the cast members that, because of the backlash that they received on social media from the fans in favor of Quad and how Quad was treated last season, that now all of a sudden she is trying to overcorrect and she's just chucking and jiving to what the fans want. I do believe on some level she does believe that they went too far with the Quad of it all, and I do believe that she is friends with Quad, but talking during the movie says, I choose none of them. I'll just listen to it on the iPod and watch Kempire. Not the iPod. I did find that interaction between Toya and Quad interesting, because I was looking at Quad like, oh, Quad feels like she's running the show because of the way that fans reacted last season. And as I said to you before, I feel like they need to revamp this cast. Doesn't mean they need to get rid of everyone, but they definitely need to revamp the cast. And when it comes to a revamp, that doesn't necessarily include Quad. Because I feel like she's not genuinely friends with this group. I feel like she did what she needed to do in order to be friends and be on this season. But if we're getting rid of Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory, we can get rid of Quad and King. Again, there really is no real relationship between Quad and the rest of this group. This is why at the end of this, we see at the reunion that Dr. Simone says, you gave us your aid to kiss. And that's why they ended up speaking with Dr. Gregory. We could debate on if that was the right thing. Again, we didn't see the context. We just saw them arguing about it. It almost gets physical backstage. I could care less about any of them. I do believe one or two of the OGs should also go in that reboot. There are rumors that there might be some sort of pause happening for Married to Medicine. I mean, if they can't get the cast together, a pause might be necessary. The Nini Perspective said, let's see if Dr. Mimi has some friends. And again, everyone that's called in has said this. The medical world, medicine is not just doctors. And there's a lot of drama within the world of medicine, competitive, judgmental, elitism in the medical world. But there's so many people within the medical world that should be included that aren't doctors. Nurses, nurse practitioners, just there's so many different medical professionals that could be included. And honestly, if you included them with this current cast, you already know how they would treat them, because you saw how they would treat Dr. Heavenly, and she's a dentist. So if you don't have a DR period in front of your name, I can already imagine how they're going to treat these people. But it's definitely come to the point where there definitely needs to be a revamp. And they had a successful run. 11 seasons, and I have to say it was really like the first 9 that were like their best. And that's a lot. That's a lot. And I think we should start normalizing ending things when they're good. But I get it. When we're thinking about the Suits, the network, they're not thinking about that. They're thinking, oh, this is working. It's bringing us in millions of dollars. So this is why they continue with this. But okay. All right. Okay. So we have quite a few people backstage that want to call in, or that have called in. Shout out to our Royal Court and Senior Royals. We appreciate it, guys. If you want to become a member of the channel, head on over to TheKempire.com/join. Our mods have said, our King's Guards have said, once we get to 1,000 likes, nearly 2,000 of you here. I never understand why you could watch an hour and a half, 2-hour show and not like the video. I don't know if you think by not liking the video is hurting me. Actually, no. We're not paid by you liking the video. I encourage it because it actually helps other people, smaller channels that are talking about the similar topics or similar content. It gives them an opportunity. So that's part of the reason why I encourage you guys to do it. But the longer you watch, the better for me. You don't have to like the video. If I'm being honest with you, if you want to know a thing or two about YouTube, the longer you watch, come.
The rumors and nastiness about her.
So keep watching. Like, you don't have to like. But if you are a content creator watching and haven't liked the video because you think I'm gonna know, maybe I don't know. I don't know the weirdness of 2,000 people watching, but not the same amount of likes. It's fine. Okay. Matter of fact, I'm gonna stop saying it. I'm gonna be selfish. Keep watching. You don't have to like the video. All right. Moving on. All right. Let's get to our callers. But before we do that, all right, Team Kempire members, I've dropped the call-in link for you guys as well. All right. Guys, I don't know if it's definitely not my sound. So it's probably the app, it's probably YouTube. So swipe out and then swipe back in. That might be the issue. Because it's definitely not. Because yeah, everything is plugged in. All right. All right. Let me get to the super chats. Elsie, thank you so much for the super chat. Elsie says, here we go again with Quad first, Mariah now Sweet Tea. Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. Keith says Quad was begging and pleading to be in this group last year. Now all of a sudden her cojones is dragging on the floor. Toya, thank you so much for the super chat. Toya says, I agree. I'm a nurse. Let me come on the show. Oh, are you in Atlanta, Toya? Are you in Atlanta? But that'd be 2 Toyas on the show, unless the other Toya is gone. Oh, I don't know. Okay. All right. All right. Did I drop? Yeah, I dropped the call link. Yeah, so the call link is for members on the post tab on YouTube. Okay. Okay, Kira says, I came back in. I think it's a YouTube thing, y'all. It's been happening a lot lately. And for the most part, all of my stuff is, I literally just upgraded my, not upgraded, but updated my soundboard and everything like that. So audio should be working. It could be literally YouTube. So, or the internet. I don't know, but it seems like it's working on my end and it's working for certain people. So it could be a YouTube outage thing. Thank you, Rachel. Rachel says, audio is better if you go out and come back. For those that, it's happened a few times. I don't know what it is. All right, let me get to the callers. I'm sure it will fix itself. If it doesn't, then I can end the live early. Yay for me! Wait. Look. No, it's this. Look.
Now I got a brand new wife now. I'm gonna have a little baby child. A little baby child. A little baby child.
Good job, Gregory. You did a great job.
Thank you, Kay Avery. Kay Avery says, yeah, YouTube is acting ghetto. Just go out and come back in. You'll be good. Thank you, Kay Avery. Yes, the app. Maybe they're making updates to it. I don't know. But it makes us as creators feel like, wait, did we do something wrong? Did we not? I don't know what it is, y'all. All right. Let's get to, speaking of that damn song. Miss Esquire is the first one backstage. So we're going to bring Miss Esquire up first. Miss Esquire, what did you want to share?
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Like, this is the best day in this community. I really don't have anything to say. I just wanted to request you to play the song with my remaining time. Thank you so much.
And if I get a copyright strike,
I got you. I got you. Bye.
Bye.
Set me free. I wanna be free. Get on with my life now. I wanna get on with my life now. I got a brand new wife now. I'm gonna have a little baby child. A little baby child. A little baby child.
Good job, Gregory. You
Look.
did a great job.
Talking during the movie says the app is messing up because you keep playing the song. It's blame Miss Esquire. Okay. Okay. All right. Miss Bernice is backstage. Poor Miss Bernice had to listen to that. Miss Bernice, what's going on? Miss Bernice?
Don't ever play that again, please. Please don't do that.
Sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What up, though, everybody? My ears is bleeding. Okay. When you said set you free, and I'm thinking, you thinking, like, oh, that's Sting song. If you love somebody, set them free. And then you play that. Oh, heck no.
Mm-mm.
Whew.
Mm-mm.
Okay, get to this. This may be the end of Married to Medicine because one, you played this lady from beginning, middle to end.
Mm.
You brought her on here for the simple purpose to antagonize Quad to give her a storyline to come back on the show. Okay.
Mm.
Once you got in, some of y'all liked her, but because you loyal to Quad, you really couldn't show that you really liked her. Only one who did it was Toya.
Mm.
Okay. Then you make her defensive where she don't feel protected. So she gotta come like if they say anything to me, I gotta be on guard. And that's no way to live.
Mm.
And Quad is not gonna let this go. So it's the best thing for for GNT to leave because Quad don't want to heal.
Oh.
She want to be in that mode, in that misery and stuff like that, and be that perpetual victim
Oh.
because it gives her a storyline.
Mm.
Okay.
All right. Thank you,
Now
Miss Bernice.
go see your people. Don't play that song. Never again.
Okay. Thanks, Miss Bernice.
Okay.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. All right. O'Shea's backstage. We'll bring O'Shea up next. O'Shea, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Yeah, I just came to say I agree with you that it's time to wrap it up in Married to Medicine.
Mm.
They will never remove the OGs because having Simone, what's her name, and Heavenly there, it sort of like legitimizes the title of the show,
Yeah.
which is why the two of them, always get first chair. Yeah, so I don't see them ever removing them, including Dr. Heavenly. And like you said, sometimes it's okay to just let things go on a high note. It doesn't always have to go the way Real Housewives of New York went with that pandemic season. Like it doesn't always have to go into the gutter. Like they had a good run, more than most people have. Let
It's
it
true.
go, and
11
you can get
seasons.
new people. There's a lot of new. You can start afresh, or start in a new city, or do something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks, Kempire.
Thank you. I mean, I'm so surprised that it never expanded. I mean, it did. It did try to expand to other cities, but like a New York, I'm Married to Medicine, New York. Can you imagine? But again, people are concerned about their board certification. They don't want, risk their livelihood, like their real livelihood for reality television. It should tell you a lot about the people that are willing to do it. Okay. All right. April's backstage. We're going to bring April up next. April, what's going on?
Sorry, good evening, Kempire. How are you?
Well, how are you?
I'm good. I just clocked out of work, so yay. But think I think that maybe the show should either end and or they go on a pause and then move around some pieces, maybe keep some OGs or start from scratch because it's just getting to be really icky. And I think Quad should come to peace with the fact that these ladies like either don't like her or just don't see it for her because at the end of the day, I feel like it's very weird behavior to bring in said abuser, or I'm
Mhm.
sorry, trigger warning, abuser to the show and then try to make her feel like she's doing too much, which yes, Quad does do too much.
Mm,
But if Simone wasn't comfortable with Cecil's friend, blurring the lines,
mm.
why would you expect someone else to feel comfortable? And her like bucking up at Quad is like, what are you doing, Chompers? Like, you're not gonna fight. Like, her teeth scared me, but it's just like, just sit down. But that's all I had to say. Enjoy the rest of your day,
Thanks,
Kempire.
April. Bye. Excuse me. All right, Elijah's backstage. We're going to bring Elijah up next. Elijah, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire. I just wanted to say that for me personally, I was watching the part when Gregory and Letitia were at dinner, and in my opinion, I feel like when Toya and Mimi went to meet with Letitia, they said, "Do you still want to be a part of the group?" Right? And she said, "Well, I have to ask Gregory. I have to ask Gregory." So she's concerned about what Mickey Mouse has to say, and then she's complaining that she's being iced out. So to me, that's what I'm saying. She can't handle it. You know what I'm saying? And whether Quad leaves or Quad doesn't leave, and her and King, but look at how King handled the situation. Even though he did do certain things that were wrong, he handled it differently. He doesn't have a doctorate degree. So maybe, it's all the doctors acting a mess. So to
Mm,
me, it's like, I think that Quad and King, if they're necessary to leave, then they should go too. And I think that Letitia and Gregory should leave too because they can't handle it. And I don't understand why they're even giving Gregory a platform after all the different things
mm,
he's done.
yeah.
And I think for sure though, if they do a reboot or some that I think Toya should stay. I think Toya and Eugene, I
Mm,
think they're like the MVP of the season because
mm,
I think they really show the description of what it is to be a doctor and be married and have kids and have the house and have everything. But like I said, I feel like Gregory and Letitia, they're tired.
mm. All right. Thank you so much, Elijah, for calling in. Um, yeah, I have to say, I mean, we've been critical of Toya over the years and Dr. Eugene over the years, but I have to say, in this last season, they were like the most sensible. I could see them trying to build a show around them. Um, Still married to medicine, but I could see them staying because I felt like they were more than willing to work with everyone. You've seen what Quad and Toya have been through. Literally, Quad insinuating that that Toya may have been a part of the whole Anila break-in, and she still was able to move forward with her. Just saying. All right, enough of me talking. We have Hayad backstage. Hayad, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
Oh well, how are you?
Good, good. Love your live. No notes, amazing always.
Thank you.
Uh, and obviously, skin is skinning.
Thank
Yes,
you.
I'm gonna get that butter because it looks great.
Thank you.
I just have one thing to say. I think you're right in the sense that I don't understand why Quad hasn't furloughed like her experience here into something past Bravo, because she's actually has a lot of skills that I feel like would be entertaining for people to watch.
Mm,
I mean, Quad, you could take some notes. I got a show for you. It could be called, I don't know, Quad Goals, and you could have every episode showing something for these ladies that need support with their fashion. Maybe another episode about cooking, maybe
mm,
another episode how to read people or out talk them or debate them, whatever it may be. First episode, Toya. Let's get the fashion right. That's it. Oh, sorry, not Toya. Dr. Simone. Let's get the fashion right.
mm.
But
Uh,
that's it.
Thanks, Hayad. Take
Thank
care.
you.
All right. Okay. All right. We have Laurel backstage. We're going to bring Laurel up next. Laurel, what did you want to share? Laurel, I can't hear you, Laurel. Laurel, maybe you have to drop out and call back in? Probably. Okay. All right. Let's bring Wendy up next. Wendy, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I see I need to up my membership because me being down on the list, I do not like. Okay. 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 And then how much do I have to pay you not to play that song? I'm like Miss Bernice. Please do not pay to play that song. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Where were you last week?
I don't know, but I was like, what in the entire bleep? Okay. But if they're gonna revamp, I just say get rid of the doctors like the
Mm.
Simone and Heavenly and Contessa and Jackie. Let it be married to medicine and have the wives of doctors and not just the doctors and stuff like that.
Oh.
That would be an interesting concept.
Hmm.
And that's it. I'm finna eat. Bye-bye.
Oh, thanks, Wendy. Bye. I'm fitting to eat too. Lord. All right. We have Keith back. Oh, wait. Keith, before I bring you up, let me bring up Laurel. Laura, what did you want to share?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I was saying that Quad said on a one of her live streams when the incident with King and Gregory first happened
Mm.
that the police didn't want to move forward with
Yes.
the charges because there was nothing to move forward with, basically. So I think it's kind of interesting that Gregory is there saying that, oh, I'm willing to let this go. I'm wondering if this is around the time that the police decided not to go forward with the prosecuting this, because I used to live in Atlanta, and the Atlanta police, like, even like if you're speeding, like they'll just kind of pull you over, give you a warning. They have like bigger crimes to fight, so I'm not really surprised about that. And also, so I feel like every season, like the plot is always who is going to leave the show, who they're going to get rid of, who shouldn't be there. So I would rather just Sweet Tea and Gregory leave now, so this isn't continuing into the next storyline for next year. Because this is getting old. And they also shouldn't be like platforming abusers like this. Like we've seen what he did to Quad, and now we've seen his abusive tendencies with Sweet Tea. So and she's already said that she's combat trained and she can fight men and all this other stuff. So if she comes out later and says that he was abusive to her, is the audience going to justify that because she says she's combat trained? So I don't think it's fair to do that because he picks women who are strong, quote unquote. But thank you, Kempire.
Thank you so much, Laurel. Take care. And we have to also keep in mind too, abuse is not just physical abuse. There's also mental abuse, and I feel like what we watched this season with the way he gaslit her, it felt abusive. Multiple times we've seen him do it, switch it up on her. And then last season too, the whole alarm of it all. I was like, what the hell? And this is a therapist. This is a psychiatrist. All right, let's go to Keith. Keith, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, long time.
Keith, where are you? I'm sorry.
I'm in a hotel.
In New York?
Yeah, my condo's getting renovated. So I needed someone
I'm
to
all
stay
up in your
for.
business. I'm sorry, Keith. I was like, are you on travel? Like, I'm jealous. Like, are you traveling? No.
I traveled to Manhattan. That's about it. But yeah. So as we're gonna say, actually, I was speaking to my sister, and she told me that her friend actually was in the running for Married to Medicine DC. That they were trying to pitch, but they said that the cast didn't mesh well and it wasn't very entertaining. I'm gonna blame it on NECA.
Well, I don't know if she was being considered for that, but definitely Dr. Alicia was being considered for that.
Okay, because they were actually in the middle of filming at the time that they scrapped it. So I think my sister said that they were already filmed for like a couple of weeks, and then they just felt like the group didn't mesh well. So I'm not exactly too sure on that, but.
Yeah.
But also, in addition, last week, I know I said that it would be hard to cast for Married to Medicine, and I still agree. But then I think it's Atlanta. You know how many thirsty people are in Atlanta? Okay, like whether they be doctors, politicians. Okay, I think it should have been pretty easy in Atlanta, but I just don't think that the people that they're casting are very interesting because other than Anila and Contessa, I can't think of anyone that joined past season 2 that actually stayed on for more than one season.
Yeah.
So I just don't think they're interesting. Well, I think Audra can come back, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Keith. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Bye. Yeah, because I forgot about DC. Because remember, we were talking about that at some particular point. April says, not Kempire acting like a parent. Kev, where are you? Sorry. I was being nosy. Per usual. No, but I remember them talking about Married to Medicine DC, and that ended up not happening. And I think that's part of the reason why Dr. Alicia ended up in Atlanta. So I would have watched that. I think for such a successful show, I'm surprised that it hasn't really expanded and been successful in other places. But can't have it all. All right. Daff is backstage. We're gonna bring Daff up next. Daff, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire. Happy St. Patty's Day.
You too.
You
You got your green shirt on.
Yes. Just quickly, Scott looked like Blackula from back in the day.
That's what it would look like. I couldn't. Okay, yes.
It was Blackula. I was like, that is no Prince. That is Blackula.
Thank you.
Now, Contessa, she did look beautiful.
Yes.
And I have to give her kudos because she's always in the Party City outfits. And this one was quite the upgrade.
Yep.
So that was nice. Jackie's dress was actually my favorite. Her look was actually my favorite out of everyone's.
I hated her hair though. That was the only thing I didn't like.
Yeah, but she looked gorgeous. She fit. I'm a Queen Charlotte Bridgerton fan. Loved it. And it was great to see Anila and her husband, Kieran.
Yep.
And I noticed Kieran was with the guys when they were talking to Dr. Greg about moving forward. So I was like, that's interesting. But I know they have a relationship from before. So,
yeah.
And the last thing, the event planners. So, first of all, I think it did cost more than $25,000 because the looks on their faces when Toya was saying, and I want this, I want that. And they're like, what? And the the event planner, Ilana, she also did the wedding for the Brat and Judy. She
Oh.
also, yeah, and I think she did Portia. She did something for Portia and Simon. I don't know if she planned their wedding in the US, but if you go to her IG page,
Hmm.
she has, because she looked familiar, and I was trying to think of where I saw her before.
Okay.
And then I realized because she I watched the Bratz and Judy's their little series they had, and
Yeah.
she planned their wedding for them.
Oh wow. So well, she did a really great job with this event too.
She sure did. What I'll do is in the chat, I'll put down the name of her page.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, Dav.
You're welcome.
Take
Later.
care. Bye. Yeah, see, everyone's getting the homework done and citing our sources. I love it. I love it. She did a really good job. And again, $25,000. I felt like no, based off of what and at least it looked like it was expensive. If they did 25,000, okay, but it definitely looked like that or more. All right, Storm is backstage. We're gonna bring Storm up next. Storm, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
Well, first I want to say I'm so happy to officially be a member. Yay. I'm locked in. But I just wanted to really quick, it's a few key points that I had to talk about
Okay.
in this episode. And the first thing is that I feel like all the girls are scared. Like, have you noticed that Toya has been like really overselling this friendship with Quad and how important Quad is? She's just been really overselling it to me. So I feel like that's a thing. And I feel like she's scared to say anything about her. So that's why she's going in on the housewives. And then Simone. Simone, I think she's mad. Quad says she's been trying to figure out what's the Simone beef about all these years. I really think Simone's mad because she chose Quad over Mariah all those years back.
Yes.
Yeah. And see, I don't think Simone ever got over that because Mariah said that production told her that, or Simone told her that production wanted her to put the nail in her coffin.
Yep.
And I don't think she got over that. And just really quickly, Heavenly is so wrong. Did you see her face when she was talking about the men were bees if they don't stick up for their wives, and Quad saying choose me? And I'm tired of Quad dictating every year who stays and who goes by giving them an ultimatum.
All right. All right. Thank you, Storm.
Thank you.
Bye. All right. We're going to get to our last couple of callers, but we appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget to like the video. Again, it's easy. It's free. It's a nice way of supporting the channel, but also helping support other channels as well. Toya, thank you so much for the super chat. Toya says, I'm in Tennessee, but I'll make the move for a nice piece of coin. In regards to being on the show. Okay. I don't know if it's going to be that nice of a piece of a coin, though, Toya. I mean, especially if you're a nurse. I don't know if it's that nice of a coin in comparison to what nurses can make, potentially, depending on where you are. Scarlett, thank you so much for the super chat. Scarlett says, this is the last live I want to hear. Timu with CeeLo Green. It will be. They didn't pay. Look, they didn't pay for me to keep playing it. All right. Dr. Payne, thank you so much for the super chat. Dr. Payne, you played it. Let the music play. You know what? Edion? Thank you so much for the super chat. Just it's the baby child part of the song that kills me. Only for them not to have a baby. T has one more year to give him a what? Baby child? Lord. Gracie, thank you so much for the super chat. Gracie says T is calling out Mimi on social. What? Okay, this is where she's gonna lose me. T is calling out Mimi on social media. She said that she tried to trick her into filming a session in her office to paint her as crazy. Don't tell me that. What? Where is she saying this? Where is she saying this? Where is she saying this? Is it on Twitter? Where is she saying this? What is Sweet Tea Socials? I can't. That is, hold on. Baby chat. Now that song is stuck in my head. Damn, y'all. Where is she saying this? Okay, all I see are links to her thing. Did she say it in her most recent video? Gracie? Ooh, that if that's true, ooh. I mean, first of all, if that's not true, to say that about someone, this is why these professionals, these medical professionals, do not want to come on the show, because saying something like that could put her license and her career in jeopardy. So according to Gracie says T is calling Mimi on social media, calling her out on social media. She said that she tried to trick her into filming a session in her office to paint her as crazy. Where did she say that, Gracie? OMG. That's crazy. L Singleton, thank you so much for the super chat. Could it be that the pandemic slowed down the progression of the show? Perhaps doctors and nurses were needed at the hospitals instead of filming for a show. Just food for thought. I mean, they talked about that during the pandemic and how it affected all of them as doctors. Maybe. I don't know. I think it's a bunch of stuff. But again, as someone said, there are a lot of people in Atlanta that be thirsty, but do we really want thirsty people on reality television? Thirsty people lead to terrible personalities on television, inauthentic personalities. Tish, thank you so much for the super chat. Tish says, I think Toya set a low number so that the fans wouldn't drag her. The flowers alone blew away that budget. Yeah, probably. Look, probably. But it was her anniversary party. It's her money. She clearly makes her own money too now. Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. Keith says, child, my little $10 was supposed to go for the month. Okay, in regards to the song, you know what, Keith. NASA, thank you so much for the super chat. NASA says, set me free from his voice, please. Blame everybody else in the chat that raised money for it. Show yourselves. For those of you that gave over $500 last week for me to add that song to the soundboard. But I did it. I kept my promise. That's all I got to say. I kept my promise. All right. All right. Shannon's backstage. We're going to bring Shannon up next. Shannon, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
You sound a little low. Do you have your headphones on?
Yes, I do.
Can you take them off?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, it's so much better.
Okay. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone.
You too.
I'm at work, so I'm gonna try to make this like really. I know, but I had to. So a couple of things that I think is happening with a lot of these reality shows, especially when they've been on for a really long time, it's like they're losing what got people to them. And so at some point, when the storylines get bored, they just start fishing for stuff. So in terms of Married to Medicine, which I am a big fan of the show, I don't think they'll ever get rid of Dr. Jackie, and I don't think that they'll ever get rid of Dr. Simone, because they are, like, to me, the anchors. I would like to see Quad be moved to a friend of the show, because she really doesn't, I mean, outside of her connection with the lady, she doesn't have a connection to medicine, but she does make good TV. So I would move her to a friend of. I think Letitia and Greg need to go. It's just too much, and I don't think that they can handle it. And I would like to see them keep Toya, because in spite of Toya being a little wishy-washy sometimes, I do think sometimes she does bring a lot of common sense to the group. And I would like to see Dr. Heavenly just go all together. I think that she has done a lot of damage to the show and a lot of damage to the brand, and she's not really bringing anything to it. She's not giving us her storyline. She just keeps a lot of stuff going. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care. Back to work. Someone said it's on her IG. Hold on, let me see. Is this her IG? No. Oh wait, this is her IG. What does she say on IG? I don't see it, y'all. Is it on here? Let me see. Is it on her Instagram story? Hold on. Let me go up here. No, I don't. Wait. No, I don't see it. Where did she post it on her Instagram? Someone said it was on her Instagram. This picture of her during the cover photo for her reunion look is pretty. Anyway, all right. If anything, maybe during our lunch hour hot topics, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out when we do random lives, when I post on my post tab, because I'm very active there as well. Don't forget, you can hear a audio version of our live recaps on the Kempire podcast, both available on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. But we've launched Club Kempire, available exclusively for our Apple subscription baddies. This is a paid option, but we're talking about the White Lotus. We talked about the Traders, and I'm dropping tea. So join Club Kempire on Apple Podcasts today. Links will be available in the description, but our mods will also post the links in the live chat. Oh, it's in the comment section. Where? Let me see. But under what picture though, y'all? Under what picture? Is it the most recent picture? Let me see. Damn, people are writing dissertations. Y'all really write dissertations in people's comment section? I'm seeing like long dissertations in the comment section. I'm just like, damn. Like, damn. Under what? Like, I'm looking under the comments. This is a live show, but if y'all can find it and send it to me, please. Okay. All right. Or just tell me where. Someone said it's in her comments. Kempire said, T said it in the comments. Under which photo, though, y'all? All right, let me focus. We got a couple more people backstage that wanted to share their thoughts. Dr. Payne is backstage. Dr. Payne, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, I have an idea. I have my producer cap on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite sure why. I don't think you can make her, but encourage Quad, even for when Phaedra was on there. I think Phaedra's the one who ruined the show, telling the truth. But why Quad can't buy into like beauty spas or med spas? Like, I'm not saying it's easy to open one, but it's certainly easy to partner and have a small percent. And where her following and as much nip and tuck they have all done, I would think it would just be a great idea. And then she would be married to medicine, since people are so caught up on that, because she's married to medical clinics. Heavenly can help her as far as how to set up a profitable clinic, because she's very profitable. And I don't know, maybe I'm so Miami. I'm all for the nip and the tuck. I don't know.
I know that's right.
Right? I just don't understand why they won't do that. Sweet tea, I think, works for the government. And it's possible, it's built in her contract that they can't show anything that will probably hurt her and make her lose her job. I think that's why she gets the protection, because everyone has said that she's wilding out behind the scenes, y'all.
Yeah.
We got to stop thinking that sweet tea is sweet. She might be a little bit, I mean, you got to be the Mary Gray. You got to be a little crazy, right? Back
Damn.
to you.
Thanks, Dr. Payne. Not back to me. All right. Toya's back. Okay, so you guys are saying it's under her Bridgerton post? Okay. Can you tell me what user she made the comment? Because it's not coming up. Like, normally if the person that commented, is it under one of the dissertations? Look, if not, guys, I will talk about it in a separate short form video, like on TikTok. So be sure to follow me there. All right. Let me get to our last caller. Toya, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey, how are you?
All right, so I know I've been all up in the super chat, but I got a lot to. Well, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make it short. I ain't gonna be here long.
Okay.
Okay, so my issues with this episode was I hate that they keep trying to push this quad coexisting with Dr. G narrative,
Mm.
because I feel like they should respect her boundaries, and if she say she don't want to be around him, she don't want to be around him. I wouldn't even keep asking her, because we know how dramatic quad is, and so I would just leave it alone. As far as Sweet Tea, I felt kind of bad, because she wanted to stay and everything, but we all know how Kawhi would have acted. She would have did a whole hour monologue if, they were still there and, she showed up or whatever. But I just feel like Sweet Tea and Dr. G need to take a break. For one, they trying to push them out the group. You can tell just from this last episode. I wouldn't be begging them to stay around. Like, if y'all don't want me here, I will gladly exit the show.
Mm.
And then last point, I said this in the super chat, but they need to stop kissing Phaedra's behind. Let
Mm.
her go. Like, bye. She says she don't want to be around y'all. Bye. She want to be over there with her Atlanta girls, where I feel like she is a better fit anyway. And
Mm.
that's all I got to say.
Thanks, Toya. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. I did find the comment, y'all. I found the comment, so we're gonna get into that, but we have a couple of super chats. All right, thank you, thank you, Mr. Melon Magic. Thank you for the super chat and for letting me. I literally found it after seeing this. I mean, before seeing this. Gracie, thank you so much for the super chat. Gracie says all true tea on Instagram. Just saw it. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate all of you coming together. Let me just bring it over so we can read it together. Oh Lord. So this is a comment that Sweet Tea posted in response to someone else. All right, hold on before we get into that. So the person says first, in response to this person says 404 to 919. And another thing, Mimi nor her long chin husband are your friends. Y'all better leave Steve alone. This is what she responded. She says, "We were never real friends. They were cast, and we were asked to invite them onto the show. There were even plans for me to film in her office, which I refused. I heard it through the grapevine that they wanted to have a storyline with me, seeing Mimi and painting me to be crazy. Funny how some call themselves real friends, yet plan an entire season without even consulting you of what the plans are. I chose to go my own route and film what was authentic to me, not anyone else's storyline. I think when I took a different approach, people didn't know how to handle it, so they grasped at anything to create a false narrative against me." So it looks like, was it production that she's accusing of wanting her to film in Dr. Mimi's office? Because this could be defaming her claiming this. So she says, "We were never real friends. I don't think did we ever really believe that they were friends? I know a lot of fans end up believing that stuff. It didn't give that they were real friends. They were cast and we were asked to invite them onto the show. There were even plans for me to film in her office, which I refused. I heard it through the grapevine that they wanted to have a storyline with me, seeing Mimi." We don't know who they is. She says, "They wanted me to have a storyline with me, seeing Mimi and painting me to be crazy. Funny how some call themselves real friends, yet plan an entire season without even consulting you of what the plans are." Yeah, I think for everyone's sake in this situation, and especially because she's going through the process of trying to have a baby, this is not a safe space for Sweet Tea. But like I said, based off the comment, I'm not sure if Sweet Tea is claiming this against production or if she's claiming this against Mimi. It sounds like she's blaming production, but there's a little bit of murkiness in regards to it. But I also have to say this, guys. Can I be honest with you? I can, because I usually am. Sweet Tea does throw a lot of stuff out there, and a lot of people like to run and believe everything that she says. I'm not saying that she's lying, because a lot of these folks aren't innocent, but we also have to keep in mind, we don't really know Sweet Tea like that. For all we know, she could be just making stuff up. I'm not saying that it could be true, but that's another thing that we have to think. Like, because some of her stuff, especially like if you listen to some of her lives, she says some random stuff and you're like, is that true? Or is she just making that up? I don't know. Maybe this just isn't for her. Okay. All right. Anyway, I want to thank our King's Guards. I want to thank our channel members. I want to thank all of you that have liked the video already. If you're part of the replay crew, we haven't forgotten about you. Thank you guys so much for your support. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share your thoughts and opinions on this week's episode, the finale of Married to Medicine. We have a 3-part reunion. At the end of the episode, we see them show a clip of the reunion. But if you were with us over the weekend, we talked about the reunion. We talked about Married to Medicine cast crashing out on social media. So be sure to check out some of the stuff you may have missed this past weekend or last week. But also remember, we don't just talk about reality television here on the channel. If you're new here, we talk about everything in pop culture. So be sure to check out those things, including our short content on TikTok, on Instagram. Everything is at TheKempire. And as always, thank you all for being here. Thank you guys so much for all the super chats, the Venmos, the Cash Apps, and for those that helped raise us to put this song in our system.
Set me free. I wanna be free.
No, enough of that. All right. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here. I will see you all in the next one. Bye, y'all. Set me free.
Here we go now.